think outside the limitations of realism, where we test the boundaries of imagination and are forced to think outside the confines and restrictions of what is normal. We are the creators, the writers, the artists, and the insane. Welcome to our Wyrd Realities.
It is time for Watching Wyrd, your go-to place for reviews on bad movies, hard-to-watch movies, hidden gems, and personal favorites old and new. Trust me, we've got something for everyone. I'm dark fantasy author Hadley Thorne, and I am here with three of my favorite cowboys and Scott Baker. In honor of the Kentucky Derby, tonight we're tackling horse movies. So before you get too comfortable, be sure to like us, subscribe, and leave a comment tonight. We want to know what you want to see. And now grab your popcorn and Coke while I hand things over to Mr. Big Mike himself, Allen Gamboa.
Hey, hello everybody. Welcome. This is Cinco de Mayo, right? So grab a tequila, a margarita, a taco, a burrito, and join us. This is the Kentucky Derby show, and this weekend is the infamous Kentucky Derby. So we picked.
Hi, Tina.
Hello, Tina. We picked several. I am sorry, I'm having computer problems.
It's because that beautiful woman just said hi to you. You know, you're all Twitter
Is that what
faded.
that is?
That's what that is.
I am sorry. Okay. So we've got horse movies. Horse movies. And we hope you all get in the mood of the Kentucky Derby. And if you're not into horses, well, we just hope you enjoy these movies. I'm just pulling this out because my computer was screwing up on me. But anyway, tonight's movies are War Horse, Casey's Shadow, Hidalgo, and Seabiscuit. These are all horse cinema.
I don't
Did I
think
say horse
can,
enough?
I think so. I don't think you can be an American and not like at least one of these movies.
I agree.
Fair enough.
That I agree very much so. I've never been into horse movies.
No.
Growing up, I just was never a horse person. I don't hate horses.
I love
I
horses.
like horses.
I live across the street from a horse farm, actually.
Hi,
Hello,
Facebook user.
Yeah. If you're watching from Facebook, be sure to log in and give us access with StreamYard so we can see your name and make sure that we're talking to the right people.
Hey, Whitney.
Hey, Whit.
Hi, Whitney.
Whitney's
While
a
I'm here,
horse
before I
person.
begin, hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
She
Hi,
watches. She watches me. My nephew sets up the computer for her. She watches the show. Then he comes in when it's over and turns it off.
That is
Special
Well-
hi, Scott's mom.
Scott's
Hi,
mom.
Hi, Scott's mom.
Well, and let's be sure to remember Mother's Day is this weekend. So
Oh, that's
extra love to Scott's mom and all the other moms
Thank
out
you.
there.
Thank you.
Yes, we should have been.
Anybody prepared for this Mother's Day? Because
No,
no.
I have a card ready, but
I need to
I'm-
order some flowers, but that's about it.
I am prepared.
You
I'm
better
just-
be.
I'm just
Nice.
saying
You
that
better
because
be.
my wife's
Tina's
watching.
listening.
Yeah, right.
Gabby Hayes better have it all together.
Yes. Oh, cake. There we go. Cake. Oh, yeah, that's right. Whitney's making cake.
I thought that said Coke. I really did.
Happy Mother's
man.
Day.
Yeah, right.
Turns you on.
Somebody, happy Mother's Day.
Oh boy.
That'd be a good Mother's Day or something. So let's start our Kentucky Derby show. I'm sorry, I'm tired. It's a long day at work. Let's start somebody else do some talking because I'm tripping all over myself right now. So I'm going to throw it to Rich because Rich hasn't been on the air in a while.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks, and I apologize for that. Just personal stuff, life getting in the way and whatnot. So my movie was War Horse.
War Horse.
I love this movie. This movie has some of the best cinematography you're ever going to see in a film on World War I, and it was just great. Made in 2011, it's a short story about a horse. The story follows a horse named Joey through World War I and a little bit before and a little bit after. It's directed by Steven Spielberg, and it features Jeremy Irvine, who I had never heard of before. I think this may have been his first film. David Thewlis, Tom Hiddleston, and Benedict Cumberbatch has a bit part in it.
Who?
Benedict. No snatch for you, buddy. Joey is the horse's name, and is originally purchased by a turnip farmer named Narracott in Britain. and he's taught how to be a horse, how to be a workhorse by the farmer's son, Albie. And the two form this really unbreakable bond. And when heavy rains destroy the turnip crop, I think, or cabbages, I think it was turnips.
Turnips, I think.
Right. Narracott has to sell his horse to the army as, war's broken out with Germany, World War I, or he'll lose the farm. So Albie begs this guy, Captain Nichols, who's played by Tom Hiddleston, to take care of the horse. And Nichols does a great job until he gets killed by machine gun fire when a sort of overzealous and a bit foolish Major Stewart, played by Cumberbatch, charges into unseen territory, and they get murdered. Two of the horses. I'm sorry, Hadley, did you want to say something?
I was going to say that the look on Hiddleston's face as they're making that charge, it was a great shot.
So
it said it all. The look said it all.
Trivia on that. So Steven Spielberg said to Tom Hiddleston about that scene, he said, I want you to regress from a soldier who's on a charge and you're the bravest man in the world to a 9-year-old kid. And that's exactly what he did. And he said the camera's going to just sweep by you as you do that. I just read that today. And I thought that was actually pretty cool.
That is.
Because you're right. The look on his face it goes from, I'm going to kill these guys to, holy shit, I'm going to die. And it was really done well.
Well, I got to tell you, just that scene where the Germans open up with the machine guns and the horses are just leaping over without riders on their mounts. Yes. That gets me all the time, because it doesn't have to show what happened. All these riders are dead. And that scene is very bloody.
It's not it's a war movie, but it's not really a bloody movie.
Right.
No, it didn't have to be. It did not have to be.
It didn't.
Right.
The scene, the following when they get Joey and they get the big black horse, and it pans up, and it shows all of the dead horses and riders.
Yep.
Right.
That was it just got me in the feels.
Yeah, it does. It stings. And those two horses, Joey and his buddy, the big black stallion named Topthorn, they get conscripted into the German army, where after all the riders are dead or captured, and they get used for dispatch and war horses. And they meet up with the horses meet up with these two German brothers who eventually desert, but they're caught and they're executed. They're young kids, and that's rough.
Hey, Laura.
Laura.
Hello, Laura.
The horses, they escape the clutches of the evil Germans and find their way back to a young French girl and her jam-making grandfather on a farm. The girl falls in love with the horses, and she keeps them until the Germans show up again to conscript them. And this time, the horses are pulling artillery, and they're going to pull it until they die. But by now, Albie's joined the fight against the Germans. Albie was Joey, who is the horses. That was his first owner. He's now in France, and he's fighting with his friends. And they take this heavy fire, including some gas rounds, which temporarily blinds Albie, and it kills his best friend. That was a rough scene, but like I said before, there's no gore in this movie at all. It's not about that. It's just about the horse. And after a sad moment, which if you don't cry, you're simply not a human being.
I was cussing Rich Restucci watching this movie today with my tissue.
A German sergeant, he takes pity on Joe and he sets him free. And it's more of an escape, really, by the horse. And Joey runs off and he storms into no man's land. Guns flying, after artillery rounds landing. It was just awful. And he's eventually caught in barbed wire and he can't move. And so both the Germans and the British notice this, and each side sends one soldier to set out to free the horse. They working together, they free Joey, and with a flip of the coin, Joey is once again, he belongs to the British.
That's a good scene.
It is. It's a great scene. That whole thing, it's about humanity and camaraderie in the face of war, which is great.
And it's to me the big equalizer, which as y'all know, I'm a big working dog fan. One of my exes was a military working dog handler, and he would always say the dog was a big equalizer. That no matter where you went, people would come up to you because the animal reminds you of home.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
great.
I felt that in the scene with the horse, was that it didn't matter what side you're fighting on. They all felt compassion for that beautiful animal that was out there struggling, and they
Yeah.
just wanted it to be okay. And that was so compassionate. And again, I'm going to get teared up talking about it. It was just a powerful scene.
It really was.
It reminded me, I love that scene. That's one of the only two scenes I really love in the movie. It reminded me of the Christmas truce.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
When
Yes.
both sides just came out for for that afternoon, they exchanged greetings,
drinking
and
wine,
ate together and
singing.
drank. Yeah, and then went back and killed each other the next day. But no, exactly what you said, Hadley. The humanity of it. They put aside their differences. They shook hands at the end. Though I did love to see when he says, "Does anybody have any wire cutters?" And they're all just threw them
Yeah.
from the trenches.
That was really good. It was.
I kept expecting Toby Kibble to get killed, the actor that played the British soldier.
So did I.
Well, and I want to say this: there were, because I watch a lot of like British stuff, BBC and what is it, PBS. There's a lot of character actors that I recognize their faces. So there was a lot of people who did little bit parts. I think just because they probably love the story, had seen it on the stage. And I would love to have seen this on the stage.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I'm not a real big play person, but this type of thing would have been great.
Yeah, this would have been amazing. It was very well done. So I had seen it, Rich, and I think we talked about it, but thank you for making me watch it again, because it's one of those that it just makes you feel it's a bittersweet, feel good movie.
It's
Hey, Landa.
Hi, Landa.
Hello, Landa.
Hi, Landa. I mean, I had problems with some of it. And I always tried to tell myself, this isn't a movie about Saving Private Ryan or Indiana Jones.
Right.
This is about the horse. But like the scene where the tank was chasing the horse,
Oh yeah.
I was like, really?
I don't think the tank was chasing the horse. It was. I think the landship was just going where it was going, and the horse was in the way. And he couldn't get out because of the steep embankments.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And so he just turned around and up and over the landship.
When he's leaping over the trenches and all that, that's just amazing. That's just an amazing shot,
And
you know.
Cinematography. I mean, it was amazing in this movie.
The cinematography was, and I loved the scene from a historical standpoint when they charged the German lines at the Somme.
Yes.
That to me just rang of Saving Private Ryan, but with a World War I theme.
The scene where the horses and the cavalry are all lined up I don't know if it was wheat, it was really tall grass.
Oh yeah.
That was incredibly well shot.
Yes.
Because horses are very large animals, but it was almost like you couldn't see them move. It was so high. And just, like I said, you see the little hats move.
Yeah.
But it's one of those, because I've ridden and I've, been out in the fields before, but I've always thought about what would people do if you didn't have anybody to cut the grass? Just so it was just one of those. It was just a really interesting shot, and it was well done. The colors, like I said, the horses were just camouflaged by that grass, and it was just like I said, it's a beautiful movie.
The only thing that sort of struck me was when the grandfather of the little girl bought the horse and gave Joey back to his trainer. I was certain the kid was going to give it back to the grandfather for the little girl, but
the little girl was dead though.
Yeah, she was dead. She passed away.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, she died.
Yeah.
He was giving her medicine, and he kept calling her delicate, and she had fragile bones.
Oh, okay. I must have missed
whatever that sickness was must have gotten her, or the war got her. One of the two.
Yeah. That was a teary scene too. I was like,
yeah,
it really was. Because you thought he was going to lose. You thought Albie was going to lose Joey, and they wouldn't be together.
Well, and all those soldiers pulling their money together so he could get it. Because
that
again, it shows that it was like their horse. It was their piece of home. And see against all odds him reunited against you, it was just.
Yeah, it was another humanity thing.
Yeah.
It was, we need to help this family get back together, during the war.
The
And, like,
when the war was
brothership,
over.
the brothership of the soldiers, even the commanding officer, the major, was in on it, though secretly claiming it was an officer's horse. So,
Right.
And the doctor, at first he was all
Yep.
set to, and then
Yeah.
he saw the story and he was like, which the doctor was played by Liam Cunningham
yes,
from
The
Dog
Onion Knight?
Soldiers, the Onion Knight. Yes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he was the Onion Knight.
It's like the UK has 12 actors and they all, I mean, even the sergeant that was going to shoot the horse, and then later on he backs Albie.
Hey,
Yeah.
Sharon.
Hey, Sharon.
hi, Sharon.
Sure.
So it's a great movie. It's an epic movie to watch. It's an
It
so you
really
gotta have
is.
time. It's like 2.5 hours long or something like that. It's an
Yeah.
epic
It's a-
movie.
It's a DreamWorks production that was released by Touchstone, and it only took 64 days to film. I found
Wow.
out.
Holy
And it was
smokes.
nominated for 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. But it got screwed out of Best Cinematography by Hugo, the film Hugo,
I've
which
never
I
seen
didn't
Hugo.
even remember it.
Don't even know Hugo.
Yeah,
I never
right?
watched
Wow.
it.
Was it like a cartoon?
Yeah, it
Pixar
was. It
something?
was animated, I think.
It had to be. It had to be something like that.
Yeah, well, to me, the cinematography in this movie is the best World War One, with the backdrops that I've ever seen. No Man's Land was terrifying, and a lot of what a lot of people don't pick up, or I'm sure they pick it up, but they don't say anything, is like the scenes when the horse and Albie, before they go to war, when they're in Britain, and you look out over the British countryside, and that is just stunning. It's just
Oh, yeah.
beautiful. It reminded me of Legends of the Fall, actually. That
Yeah.
movie, Legends of the Fall.
The last scene, just
Yeah,
is
when he's
beautiful.
coming
It's
home.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's just
it's
looking out
beautiful.
past, with the sunset. It was just fantastic.
It's a great movie.
That last scene, though, I was laughing to myself. It was like, let's take the end of Saving Private Ryan and the end of Gone with the Wind and mix them together.
I did think it had the same colors of Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
It
I
may
was
have.
expecting him to say, I'm not going to be taken advantage of anymore or whatever.
I'll
Conan
never go
O'Brien.
hungry again. I think
Yeah.
that was it.
Conan O'Brien has a skit he did when War Horse came out, and he goes, War Horse. And so Tina and I always were saying, War Horse. So when we watched this movie, every time they said War Horse, we would do the War Horse voice. I forgot what the skit was about, but it was a few years ago. So anyway, enough of my personal trivia.
Right.
Well, I went down a bunny hole thinking about how terrible it is that animals have to go to war for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because and I don't know if y'all knew this, but after World War I, when they were doing away with the cavalry, they killed a bunch of those horses.
Uh-huh.
And so, I mean, again, it just hits a nerve there. But they give their lives, and what do we do?
Yeah.
But you saw that too. I mean, you saw the commanders who were like, I don't care, shoot it. And then like the German who was, oh no, you don't want to use this horse. This is the horse that will bring it up the hill. There was still, even in the middle of war, there was still both sides that were caring and loving about the animals.
Yeah.
So what would you guys give this movie? Rich?
I'm giving this one a solid 5. This is, I thought cinematography alone would have gotten this movie a 5, but the way it was acted and directed, and just the little things, to me, when I saw the No Man's Land stuff, it was like, holy crap, that's great. So I'm going to give this a 5. And then there's the one scene that just, like I said, if you don't cry during that scene, I got to knock you out, because it was just such a tear-jerking scene, So I'm giving this a 5.
Sweet. Hadley?
5, solid 5.
Scott?
4.7, only because I agree. The cinematography was fantastic. The acting in it was super. There was not a single actor in that movie that didn't not say overperform, but I mean, who didn't perform at their best.
Right.
But sometimes the plot was just a little bit too bizarre for me. But it was a good movie. I'm so glad I watched it. I probably never would have watched it if it wasn't for tonight.
Cool. Good. I'd give it a 5. It was a beautiful movie. Beautiful shot. I enjoyed it. It's a little long, to just, hey, I'm going to watch this, but
Not as long as Batman. I still hadn't finished Batman.
oh,
I haven't even
We
started
finished.
Batman.
Don't bother.
Don't bother. It's It's got a couple points in it that I like, but it sucked. So Hadley, let's do Casey's Shadow from
Okay.
1978.
Let me say this. I watched this movie, I guess when it came on HBO back in the 80s. I was a little girl. I was obsessed with horses, and I watched this probably every time it came on. So this is the first time I have seen it as an adult. And I still enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it for totally different reasons. Because I think when I was little, it was all about the horse, and this time it was all about the dynamics in the family and how they played off of each other. But so a little bit of background is Walter Matthau plays the father to these three various age young men, ranging from what probably 20 something down to what about like 6, 7,
Yeah.
and Casey being the youngest. And the mother's out of the picture. She had gone to the store, said she'd be back in a couple of weeks or something, and she just never came back. So they've been abandoned by the mom, and they race quarter horses in South Louisiana, which y'all know that I've got a lot of family down in South Louisiana where this was filmed. So again, it's kind of reminiscent of my childhood, and it was just it's a really good movie based on this great little short story. And I really enjoyed it. I don't know if y'all did, but to me it was really great to see men in the light that this movie put men in. You don't see a lot of that. There was no sex. Well, I mean, we were going to Tahiti where the women wear no tops, but
Yeah.
that was about it. But it was just the dynamics among the brothers and the father was really nice. It was real. I guess that's what I want to come back to. It was a very authentic, feel good, I guess, movie. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone because I hope everyone will go and watch it. It's worth it. It's the story of, the responsibility that this is upon this child and him not understanding, it was, I don't know. What did y'all think?
So when I was a kid, my mom dragged me kicking and screaming to see this movie. Shut up, you'll love it. And I couldn't wait for this movie to end before I got in. And
I'm
then
so sorry.
wait a minute. No, that was before I got there. I was like, I can't wait for this day to be over. And I sat in that movie theater and I was like, this movie did not suck. This was okay. I was young. I think I was 10 or 11. And I watched the movie and everything was great until that guy killed the horse. And then I was like, I was 10 years old and I was pissed. And I'm looking at this guy, you son of a, and he killed the wrong horse too. And
Well,
just
it's because the other one didn't need it.
No, I know. But
The horse that had the chicken rider, it was the
it was
little
his
pony.
mom. It was the horse's mom, right?
Yeah.
Was it Daisy? What was the name of the horse?
Gypsy.
Gypsy. That's what it was. And I was sitting there thinking, so it's really powerful hate motivator to get you to really hate the bad guy. And by the end of this movie, you do. But I think it was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
I have never seen this movie. I remember as part of my, growing up, I remember it being advertised and everything. So this is the first time I watched it. And it brought back Bad News Bears.
Yeah.
All those movies of that era that were out, with Walter Matthau or with some,
Hopscotch.
And I really liked the nostalgia of it. It just, it was just that 70s type of movie. That's a family drama, and it with some comedic elements in it, and that's what I really enjoyed about it. It just brought me back to being a kid, going to the movie theater and watching one of those movies. Because this one was always floating around when I was a teenager and stuff, but I just never went and saw it. I thought it was a girl movie, and just the
well, you were very
So
wrong.
did I.
Yeah,
So did I.
And so. I enjoyed it. I love Walter Matthau. He was always great.
He was great.
Yeah. And this is like, I think probably right before he did Earthquake or something like that, because he had that look of the drunk, of that drunken Earthquake that he plays. He had that look. So I enjoyed it. Thanks, Hallie. I really enjoyed it.
I went into this movie thinking, this is going to be one of these sappy Disney flicks, and I fell in love with this movie. It was very realistic. I loved the fact that even back then, I think it was made late 70s, they were showing how cruel the industry treated the horses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this wasn't just a feel-good movie about, them loving horses. Walter Matthau did a fantastic job because he got mad at the kid. He took his belt off and whipped the kid's ass. This wasn't just, happy-go-lucky and everybody's fine at the end. Robert Webber, you grew to hate. Murray Hamilton, you always hate. I mean, come on, Jaws.
Open the beaches, we're all right.
He's always just, a butthead. Yeah. But I really enjoyed this. This was one of those movies I got hooked on. I spent more time watching it than I did doing other stuff. They all did a good job, and it's definitely well worth the watch. Like I said, I thought it was a Disney movie when it came out, so I never bothered seeing it. I really enjoyed this movie.
I think single dads need to watch this movie with their kids, because to me, and again, I don't have kids of my own, but I am an observant person. You don't see a lot of positive single dad role models. Mm-hmm. And he's not perfect, but he's doing his best, and he's raised really good kids.
Yeah.
That was the thing. And I'll say this, the acting in this movie, I don't know who anyone was with Walter Matthau, but they did really a great job, because I even looked it up to see if they'd done anything else. I think one of them did like Police Academy. But
yeah, the oldest son's passed away a few years ago.
He's like my dad's age, dude. Yeah. That like really messed me up, and I was like, oh my God, my dad was probably 29 or 30 when that movie was coming out.
Yeah, no, but you had, like Scott said, he had Murray Hamilton. He always played a bad guy. Mm-hmm. Jaws. He's always the mayor or something. Yeah.
But
and, Robert Webber.
But to go back, there's not that many female leads in this movie. This is not something you see today.
No. The only two female characters I remember was the woman who was trying to buy the horse that walked away at the end, and the girl, the jockey that broke her wrist.
Mm-hmm.
And had that sort of slight romantic interest with the older brother.
Right. I like the part where the older brother's cooking and he can't find any plates and he's going through the cupboard. That was realistic. It's like, they're living like animals. You put four guys together, they're going to live like animals.
Yeah. But it was very realistic. The whole, the way their horses were treated, the way they put them down. And yet there was this family that cared for the horses.
Cared enough to give the prize money back to save them.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. I can't say that it was as good as War Horse, because it's a period movie. It takes you back to 78 really fast. But I'm going to say that I'm going to give it probably a 4.5. I enjoyed this week. All the movies were really good. So I'm probably going to score high. But I'd give Casey's Shadow a 4.5. I loved it.
What do you say, Alan?
I'd give it a 4. It was enjoyable. And like Hallie said, it's just a bit of the 70s nostalgia. I was thinking of all those movies that I watched when I was that age that were that type of movie, when I was watching this. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the feeling.
4.2.
Why?
It was good. It just wasn't great, if you know what I mean. I'm one of those.
It was no hobo with a shotgun, is what he was saying.
It was
4.2. No, I saved like 4.8 and above for the best movies I've seen. This was good. I would watch it again. I highly recommend it, but I'll give it a 4.2.
I'll give it a 4.5. I think it's dated now. When I saw it as a kid, I probably would have given it a 4.5 too, and I was very critical as a kid. I did not like the horse murder scene. It really got me. But when you think about it, that's the kind of thing that drives you to hate the bad guy.
Yeah.
And it really worked. So I'll give it a 4.5.
And I
Great.
just want to say, if you're sensitive to dead animals in shows, the scene with the horse when they're removing it was really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard.
That looked real.
Yeah, that's probably
So
before
that's my warning, trigger warning for anyone that watches.
And
Yeah.
that's what I liked about it. It didn't whitewash the industry.
No.
Not at all. So, well, that was a good pick. Definitely a good pick.
It was a good pick. Thank
Fit
you.
right in.
Mhm.
Scott, you want to go next?
All right. I am going to be honest. I've been overwhelmed this week. I saw Seabiscuit when it first came out, but
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to watch it. But Seabiscuit is it's the story of a horse.
Name Seabiscuit.
Name Seabiscuit, yeah, okay. But it's the story of a horse that was born that really never should have been a racehorse. But the family who had it nurtured it. They got a jockey. I can't think of the actor's name. He was Spider-Man.
Toby Maguire.
Tobey Maguire. And it's the story about how this horse is trained and eventually goes up against one of the largest, fastest racehorses, Man of War.
War
Sorry,
Admiral.
War Admiral. War Admiral.
Admiral.
It goes up against War Admiral and actually wins the race. They made a book out of it, which was fantastic. The movie itself is very good. And again, it doesn't whitewash the industry. It shows the downsides to it, especially if you're a jockey, what you've got to go through, the love, the affection they had for this horse, which was why, you know, when I saw it, I thought, wow, good, they're not whitewashing the industry. And then when I saw Casey Shadow from like 40 years earlier, I was thinking to myself, oh man, I could see the connection between the two.
Right.
So,
Right.
Well,
That's a
the
good
thing
movie.
about Seabiscuit that was so phenomenal was he was such a little guy.
yeah.
He was just a scrappy little horse, and you know he got out there, and he's one of the top champions of all time, isn't he?
Yes.
I think
Yes.
so, yeah.
One of the
Yes.
winningest horses. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really, Scott, I've never seen this movie, never wanted to see this movie.
Mhm.
And I enjoyed the heck out of it.
Yeah.
I really did. The acting in it, I like the period piece that it was in,
Yeah.
you know, and the story of, it was the story of the horse, but it was the story of everybody in that time coming through the Depression.
It's an
Yeah.
American story.
All right.
Yeah.
America's
Yeah.
comeback story.
Yeah, the underdog, you know,
Yes.
the poor underdog winning against the big
This
tough
is-
establishment.
This is Rocky and Cinderella Man. It's the same damn movie.
It is, but
It
with
is.
Seabiscuit.
But it really
Exactly.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is a true story
And good
about
acting.
how to you know how to be well in the Depression and what this underdog horse, same thing with Cinderella Man, what it did for the entire country.
Yeah.
You know,
It's-
Except one had a glass slipper, one had a horseshoe.
yeah.
Well, one of the
What
things
I
I
also-
really one of the things I really enjoyed about this movie was how it was shot.
Mhm.
Where it would have like, you know, the scene with the actors, but then it would have like the period radio style guy giving the synopsis like you were at a movie reel in the 30s.
William H.
You-
Macy.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
I like the part where they're talking, where the narrator of the movie is talking about Seabiscuit the horse, you know, and his pros and his cons. And one of them is he likes to nap a lot, and he's laying there on the grass. And I'm thinking, Seabiscuit, you're my spirit animal. You know, I thought
He
that
could
was cool.
eat all the other horses in the barn despite
Yeah.
being like 3 times smaller.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious.
That's me.
I loved it when he kicked the goat out of his little stall.
And what I also really found fascinating about this movie was you learn so much about what it was like to be a jockey.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was kind of tough. I had no
Crappy
idea.
jockey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't a top-notch jockey. He was a crappy half-blind jockey who boxed on the side, bare knuckle boxed because he couldn't make any money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably where he lost his eyesight.
That is. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And but the whole thing of him riding with that bad leg, I never realized how much stress you put on your legs riding horses. But as I also didn't realize they would run into you with the horse because
Oh
that
yeah.
seems scary.
Yeah.
But I had not seen this movie, Scott, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I think that at this point in my life, with the way the country's being run, that I needed to see something that was going to put the raw back in my America.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. It was just it was America. You had Jeff Bridges.
Who does he age? How old is Jeff Bridges?
I don't know. But he does age. I've seen him.
I know. I saw him in True Grit, and I was like, "This was made before or after True Grit, wasn't it?" I mean, it's not that many years apart.
I don't know, but he's one of my favorite actors. He's
The
great
dude.
and everything.
The dude.
Yeah, the dude.
Yeah. I mean,
We'll never know.
We lost him. We'll
never know.
I think this is Tobey Maguire's best role.
loved it.
I agree
It's a
with
great, like you guys. Yeah.
We lost you, buddy.
Even more
We
than
have no
Spider-Man.
idea what you
lost
said.
Oh, and all I said was I agree with Rich. It's his best role, even better than Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Well, now he was making like Spider-Man 1 or Spider-Man 2 or 3
Might have been
right after this one,
Maybe.
and when he hurt his back on this one, making this
Oh, I
one.
didn't know that.
Yeah, and so he went to film Spider-Man, and he lied to him on his physical and everything, and so they knew his back was screwed up, so they made him do a bunch of his own stunts on that Spider-Man movie,
Oh,
just to kind of say, okay, and
no fibbing.
crazy.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm not going to say it's my favorite. I really liked him in the Great Gatsby remake.
I haven't seen that.
Actually, that was good too. Yeah.
I think that was to me. That's more of who I think Tobey Maguire was the guy in that. But this was a good role for him. I enjoyed it. I never really thought of him as a scrapper. So,
And you
but it
had
was-
Chris. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was saying I just really enjoyed it. I liked everything about it.
Yeah, and the horse trainer, Chris Cooper.
He was really
Jeez.
good.
And he looks like Gary Cooper, the old Western actor from
He
High
really
Noon.
does.
He does, but he's not related to him. I always thought
No.
he might have been, but he's not. But I like everything he's in. He's just a good actor, and that was a great part for him.
Yeah, it was. He reminds me of Michael Rooker, actually.
Yeah,
But he's a very good actor.
definitely a guy that can bring a bright spot to any movie. Like,
Yeah. He was in American Beauty. He played the
oh
dad.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. I didn't like that movie.
I didn't either because of him.
Yeah,
He was but he wasn't a bad guy. He was a good guy in the movie. He just ended up doing a bad thing.
bad thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's not. Yeah. So, what would you give this movie, Scott?
I would give it probably a 4.8.
4.8. Hadley?
I'm going to go 4.2.
Wow. Rich?
Ladies and gents, I have to give this movie a 5, just because this movie kind of means a lot to me because my wife and I would watch this. This is one of her favorite movies, and that's what she would say. But she said, it's Rocky, and I was like, damn it, you're right. And I was like, Cinderella Man is the same movie, and that was another one of her favorite movies. So I've seen this movie 10 times, so I gotta give it a 5.
I'd give it a 4.5, and that's high because not high in a bad way, but I never wanted to see this movie, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I love
I was
horse movies, and I didn't want to see it. So, I agree. It's not the best out of the 4 that we've seen, but on a different night, it would have probably gotten a 5.
Well, I like it better than War Horse. I really
Really?
do, as far as watchability.
Mm.
Because if I watched War Horse again, I'd fast forward through a lot of it and get to the middle of the movie. This one, I don't think I would fast forward through it.
Well, the turnip farming, I could have skipped that, but no, I still think War Horse is a better movie. So I'm going to disagree.
Put the
We'll
gloves
agree to
on.
disagree. Let's get Tobey Maguire out of there.
Yeah.
He was
All right.
angry.
Yes.
So let's do it, Gabby.
Okay, my movie is Hidalgo with Viggo Mortensen at the height of his acting fame, hot off Lord of the Rings. This movie follows the purported true story, and I don't know how true it is, of Frank T. Hopkins, and he was a U.S. Cavalry scout. He had PTSD because he was also Sioux, and he was at Wounded Knee and the massacre there, and so he had a lot of PTSD from that, a lot of personal issues, conflicting issues, because he was part of that. I don't know. I think he killed one native, which is horrible. But anyway, he suffered for that mentally, and so he ended up joining Wild Bill's circus and travel Wild Bill and some Middle Eastern Emirate challenges him to go on this 3,000-mile race across the Ocean of Fire in the Middle East, like from Iraq to Libya or somewhere, something like that. And he accepts. So he takes his horse Hidalgo, and they cross the ocean and they race, and it is a sweeping adventure story. And I like this movie a lot.
I gotta say, most valuable player for the week for me was Hidalgo. That horse had more character. You could just look in his eye, and it was just like he was just cute, and he had personality, and he was great. I love this movie, Alan. I've seen
Shows
it
the
before.
intelligence of horses.
Yeah,
Very smart.
I love horses, but that little horse, he had personality that in spades. You could just tell it. I love this movie, so thank you for bringing it to the table.
Oh, we like this movie, but some of it's hard to watch. The massacre and stuff like that. It's
Oh
kind of
yeah,
hard to watch, and the treatment, the treatment of the natives and stuff like that. But it's a really sweeping. I want to say Middle East,
Yeah.
Western. It just has an epic feel to it, even though it's not a huge movie, but it's got an epic feel to it, and I really like that.
Again, with the cinematography,
Yes.
outstanding, both when they're in the United States and when they're in the Middle East. It was just the way they photographed those big, wide open landscapes was just amazing.
Oh, it's great. And you had Omar Sharif in it. And I hadn't
Yep.
seen him. I forgot he was in it. And, I hadn't seen him in a long time. And,
Great role.
Great role.
13th Warrior,
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Zhivago.
Yeah.
He can do little wrong.
And then you had J.K. Simmons playing Buffalo Bill.
Yep.
The Buffalo Bill. That was
Also can do no wrong.
Yeah. That was a good role for him. There's some roles that actors are born for. And I think that just that little role was, great for him with his voice and everything, It was good. And the race scenes were exciting. And the twist of the kidnapping of of Omar Sharif's daughter, and the twist in terms of him being betrayed, the horse lineage, and all that stuff. Oh, that was great. Just a lot of it thrown in.
And that's a big thing. I mean, the Arabian bloodlines is a really big thing, especially among the Bedouin tribes.
It's worth billions.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
And I think that actually is a race that they really do have. I mean, or it's based on one.
They did. They did have it, yeah.
And his horse was a Mustang, and they look down at his horse, and Hidalgo kicked ass.
They're scrappy little horses. I love this movie, but I love Mustangs and the fact that he takes all the winnings and he goes and frees the horses and sets them free. Yeah, cool. That's a big deal to me. So
well, Hadley, we have some of those Mustangs here in Nevada.
Really?
Where we're at, yes, we have horse crossing signs. They have gated areas, fenced areas where the Mustangs can go in and through, because they had a lot of problems with them crossing the highway and stuff like that. And you'll see them on the hills. You'll see, herds of, maybe 20, 30 of them. Sometimes when I go to work, there's a sign that says, "Watch out for the horses." And I'll be driving down this 4-lane suburban area, and there'll be 2 or 3 of these Mustangs, and they're big. I mean, you're driving in your car and you're like, holy crap. So you got to be careful, especially in the morning, because you don't see them.
They don't
You know,
like
so-
people either, do they?
No, they do not.
Yeah.
So thank you, Frank Hopkins, for that. No, I don't care.
Now,
I think it's kind of cool.
I saw at the end of the movie though that the Hidalgo's band is like actually in Oklahoma.
Yeah, but they spread out over here
Yeah.
too. Some of that's from there, and like my a friend of mine, he lives in an area where they go through the neighborhood, and so he's got horse poo in his yard once in a while. So, not like wild dogs running around.
Good fertilizer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, what do you think of this, Scott?
Unfortunately, I tried to watch this and it kept on freezing up on me. After about 10 minutes, I just gave up. But it sounds fantastic. I'm definitely going to try to watch it.
Okay.
I was very bad this week when it came to watching Wyrd. So
I got lucky this week. I was able to watch all of them.
Oh.
So nah.
I'm actually I work longer hours during the week, so I can take off early on Thursdays, so I can watch my movies now.
Oh, cool.
Because I was having trouble there for a while getting everything in. So
Yeah.
so I watched War Horse and Hidalgo today, and I wrapped Hidalgo up at 8 and jumped in the shower, then came in here and got ready. So I love this movie, Alan. I give it a 5.
Cool. Excellent. Rich?
So this is another movie that I used to watch with my wife all the time. She was a horse nut. She liked Seabiscuit and War Horse and these 3 movies. So we watch that all the time. I got to give this a 5 too for nostalgia. I love this movie. Even if I hadn't watched it 20 times with my wife, this is the kind of movie that, again, it's a Cinderella horse coming in, when he can't possibly win, and he does really well. So I love this movie. I'll give it a 5.
Was it filmed in the Middle East?
Some of it was filmed in Morocco and Montana, I think, or Wyoming, something like that. Yeah.
I love the Middle East. I'll have to watch it now.
It's enjoyable. And the English lady, she is a good evil character.
Oh, she's a bitch. I love her. She was great in this movie.
Who plays her?
She was on CSI. I don't know.
She's very good. This is my favorite kind of villain. It's one who's so well done. It's not cartoonish, but her intentions are not pure.
No. And then they have the
Louise Lombard. That's her name.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other writers, they have the guy with the falcon. Then they have the prince, who's a jerk. I mean, it's a good story. I think you'll enjoy it, Scott. It's a sweeping epic, and Malcolm McDowell's in it. Malcolm McDowell.
Yes,
briefly. Yeah, he's got a bit part, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, did you guys ever? You know the story about the Black Stallion, right? Did you ever see the movie The Black Stallion Returns?
I saw all of those.
So I think I didn't look it up, and I'm just putting it together now. I think that was the same race because
really?
they entered the Black Stallion into that. It was like a super long race in the Arabian desert.
Yeah, I think so. And I will admit this. When I was a child, I read every Walter Farley Black Stallion book they had. So I collected horses. The only thing I ever really wanted was a horse. So now I'm too old to get one, but I love them.
You're never too old to get a horse.
Or rent one. Rent a horse.
Well, no, my friend Erin, her parents have a horse farm, and it's like probably about 10 minutes away, so I can go. I love the baby horses. It's that time of year, so they're foaling.
So, funny story about the Black Stallion Returns. I don't know if have you guys seen? Have you seen it, Alan?
No, I haven't.
So the horse in this movie, his name ends up being Shaitan, which means devil, and that is the name I gave to the horse in one of my stories. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, I do.
The horse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Rich Restucci just getting points tonight.
Yes, right. So that was it wasn't a Hidalgo story, but it was the same race that the Black Stallion Returns was in. His name was Shaitan.
Okay.
It means devil.
Okay. Yeah, I was never a horse person, and I really enjoy these movies. They're really good. I'm glad you all picked.
It's
these
almost like
movies.
baseball movies. I'm not a big baseball fan, but I love baseball movies.
I love baseball movies.
The Natural is one of my favorite movies ever.
That's a good flick. It really
Well,
is.
mine is Major League.
A league of their own.
That's the
League
movie
of-
I love.
It's a great flick. Tom Hanks.
That's one of his most. There's no crying in baseball, and yet he goes from
peace
such a
scene.
jerk to when the guy shows up with the telegram that one of the girls' husbands had passed away. Brilliant performance. He should have won an
Really was.
Academy Award.
Oh,
for
of
that.
course. Yeah, I agree. And when he's taking the whiz, when he's peeing, and he's drunk, and he walks, it's like a 5-minute pee.
Yeah.
It was great. It really was. Baseball movies.
Major League is my favorite. I got to go with that one. In Major League
Wild
2,
Thing.
not so much. Wow.
I like Bull Durham too.
Bold,
Well, that
great
was good.
movie.
Good. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
all right, football movie. I love football, but I like football movies too.
Rudy.
Oh yeah.
Rudy's good.
Rudy.
Fantastic.
Rudy's
movie.
one that makes me cry.
Hi, Chloe.
Hi, Chloe.
Hi, Chloe.
Wow.
Hi, Chloe. What's that football movie with Keanu Reeves? That's one of my
The
favorites.
Replacements.
Replacements.
What a great
That's
flick.
one of my favorites. That's one of my favorite Keanu Reeves movies too. Is that one? Besides John Wick. It's a lot of fun. But anyway,
So the rest of the month, I thought we might do something a little bit different. Are y'all eager to hear?
I am so
yeah.
eager.
So this is the 1-year anniversary of when Allen and Scott joined Wyrd Realities. So I thought we would do fun movies that y'all want to do that I normally would never let you do.
That
This is where we
sounds
get
awesome.
banned.
No, that sounds awesome because I had one that I saw that I was like, oh, we got to do this one. It's so bad. So yes,
Oh, you wouldn't.
wouldn't I?
Yes, you would.
So just fun movies that we really like.
Whatever y'all want for the rest of the month. I think
Okay.
that y'all keep us all entertained and that it'll be. I know Rich and I'll just have a great time with it regardless. So
Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, you're picking right. You're gonna pick whatever movie you want to.
I'll
right?
pick my own bad movies to go with
Yeah.
it. But you're in
Human
charge.
Centipede 2.
What is it? What'd you say, Rich?
No, I'm kidding. I didn't say anything. No, I'm not doing that movie. Hell no. No.
But no, I want everybody to know how much I appreciate y'all being part of this team, and
Thank you.
it has definitely come a very long way since we got together for the Army of the Dead panel. So I don't even know if you remember that long ago,
Yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
it's been a while.
I saw it on
so-
YouTube the other day. I was
I
looking
didn't
at
realize it's been a year.
Me either.
It has.
Wow. Holy crap.
And Scott was in our chat room, and he joined the team afterwards. But that was when I first met Alan, and Rich turned us down. Do you remember? He had martial
things
arts to
going
do.
on.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
They had a
Well, now we
karate
got us all wrangled here now, so that's awesome.
I know.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That'll work. Okay, great. I gotta remember what movie it was. I was looking at it going, oh, I gotta give this one to you because it's so bad, you guys. Oh no. Oh yes. Amanda.
Trust me, it won't be hobo
Thanks,
with a
Kelly.
shotgun, but I'll pick a good one.
Pick what you want. That's the whole purpose.
Yeah.
You get to pick what
think
you want
I think Miami Connection 2 came out.
to. Of course it did. Of course it did.
You son of a.
Hey,
I'm
Friends
thinking
Forever.
I'm thinking of one that if you guys have not seen it, you will enjoy the movie.
After you turned me on to Tubi, Scott, so it's been awesome looking at some of these movies that look horrible.
God, I know. I'm telling you, watch Titanic 666. It is much
will.
better
I
than
will.
it sounds.
Anyway, good. I'm gonna watch it because you said that.
Hey, big man.
Oh,
He
you
runs
forgot.
out.
Enough of those people.
Yeah.
So, tomorrow night, we're going to be live at 7 p.m. Eastern with Weird Murders, Mysteries, and Mayhem. And then 7, we're going to have Weird Awakenings with Morgana Calder and Tully. I think Cecil will be there too from Where in the Folk, and of course Stephen Hill, I believe. And then I think at 9 p.m. my time, I think y'all are going 10. I'm trying to get y'all. I don't know what time zone everything is in, but I believe it's 10 Eastern. Alan, you and Joe are having me and Scott on tomorrow night.
Well, Scott's got his
I
daughter's
Oh, that's
birthday.
right.
can't do it tomorrow night. It's my daughter's 20th birthday.
Okay.
So,
Well,
if it was 21st, I'd be dragging her out of bar rooms. But next year,
What time is it?
Uh,
What time is it? 10 o'clock tomorrow night Eastern?
yeah, Eastern.
I
but
might
if
be
you
able to
guys can
jump
wait
on.
till next Friday, I'll definitely do it.
oh yeah, we could do that too. I mean, we could whatever. Whatever. You guys are great. We could all three of you would be great. Actually, that would be fun. That would be a
Yeah.
blast.
Oh,
So how about Hadley next Friday? We'll get all
All
three
right.
of you, and I'll hit Joe up.
It is.
That'd be great. That'd be fun. It'd be like old home week or something.
sounds good.
I'm actually reading Joe's Zombie Rush trilogy right now.
Ah,
Pretty,
It's a
pretty
good
good.
trilogy.
Yeah, it's not bad. I like it.
Joe. Some of his other stuff is like Wayward Son. You should try that. His sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's really
Is that on Audible?
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Rich,
I've got some credits I need to.
That
I
one made me
started
tear up.
reading Run last night. I
Yeah.
love it.
Oh, you do?
Takes place in Boston. The
Yeah.
beginning.
Well, initially, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm reading
glad
the
you
sequel.
like it.
I'm reading your new one right now.
Yeah.
So it's just taking me a while to read. Get
Yeah.
not your book, but just sure.
Everybody's so
time to read.
busy. I know. It's same
Oh, I
thing.
know.
It's crazy.
I've had so I read Brian Parker. I read Frozen World, and then I jumped into one of your books, Alan, and I finished it. I can't remember which one it was. I've read all your stuff now. And then I did Brian Parker's. I did his the Rand Nash or Nash Rand and
Oh
Seven.
yeah.
3 great stories. And
Yes.
then I did this C. Robert Cargill. Do you know him?
That's
He,
sounds familiar.
He did what the heck is the name of the movie? Sea of Rust is the name of the book. Sea of Rust. What a great book.
Hey,
that is.
Marquise.
Mark,
Hey,
Mark,
Mark.
I hear it's good. It's a sci-fi,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's sci-fi. It's a robot thing. It's excellent.
Oh.
And then I read the next one after that about the robot tiger. It was really cool. And now I'm on to Joe stuff. So
Yeah.
and I've got Hadley. She's coming up. Not the next one, but the one after that. So
Yeah.
Tapestry
Hadley's
of
on my
Worlds.
TBR list. I just finished Jamie Hernandez, Urban Gridlock. I want to go back to reading some more of Rich's books, and I'm dying to read yours. Dead Island was just awesome.
Thank
The
you.
second one was what
Thank
was the
you.
second one with the drug lord?
Dose.
Dose.
Island
Oh,
Dose.
that was just.
I thought I was clever, because it's in Mexico, so I thought
It
Dose would
was
be clever.
bizarre, and I loved it.
Well,
So-
thank you.
Little story on that. So I thought it was Dead Island. I mean, I finally got it, but I thought it was Dead Island DOS, and I thought DOS was a military thing, and I'm thinking, what the hell is DOS? Disk operating system? I don't know what the hell is DOS. So I'm looking it up, trying to figure out what the hell DOS military is. And I'm coming up empty, and I'm like, he can't mean dose like number 2, right? And I'm like, it's the second book. It's what a moron
I'm
I was.
not that clever, man. Yeah.
At least you
No, I'm
figured
not
it
that
out.
clever.
I never got what DOS meant. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to depart. I'm sorry. I
Yes.
have to go pick up my daughter. So,
Good night, Scott.
all right. I will see you all next Thursday.
Always a
Okay.
pleasure, my friend.
See you,
Thank
Scott.
you, Scott. Take care. There we go.
And then there was 3.
And then there were 3.
Oh,
Mm.
he's got his headphones on.
And then there were 4. Yeah, 3.5.
Can you hear them?
Hey, big man.
Hey,
Hello.
Hi. You say hi.
Hi.
so cute.
How old is he now?
He's getting big.
Or he's gonna be 5 here in July.
5.
Yeah,
Oh,
and he's got the attention span of that.
So do I.
So thank you for these movies tonight. That was great. I really enjoyed these movies. They're movies I wouldn't have watched without your recommendation.
it was fun. It was a fun night. I enjoy doing something different. Thank you, Rich. I think it was you that inspired this.
I am a
Yeah.
big fan of these horse movies.
Well, thank you. It opened my eyes.
Great. Well, have you guys seen Cinderella Man?
No, I've
I
not.
don't think I have.
Okay. It's Russell Crowe. I'm sorry. It looks like you're busy. We can get back to this in a minute. Go ahead. Do what you got to do.
All right, we're good. We're good. I want to see that with Russell Crowe. I love Russell Crowe.
So you got to see this movie. It's a Great Depression movie, and it's a boxing movie. It's worth every second of your time.
Oh, good.
Awesome.
I'll give it a look.
That looks good.
Thank
It's
you.
really worth it. I like the headphones.
I'll give it a look. I'll give it a look. See, definitely. Oh,
Well, that's
That's
10
great.
o'clock. What do we have going on this week, guys?
Nothing. I haven't written a word in 2 weeks.
yeah. I've been struggling lately with my writing.
Yeah, it's been tough.
Well, one day I'm going to tackle y'all to do the radio show.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to. I really would.
Yeah.
It's just
Or-
getting the time.
We could do a script for a movie series for Netflix.
We can do that too.
We could do that too. Yes.
That might be fun. All right,
Vampires
guys, y'all
in the
heard
Last-
it here. They said that they would do it. And on that note, it is 10:01. I'm gonna let y'all sign out. And until next time, stay weird.
Good night. Thank you for
Good night,
joining
folks.
us.
Thanks a bunch.